No. Where else are we from, guys? New South Wales? Queensland? State of origin? No? Newcastle?
Yarrawonga, Moala.
Yarrawonga. You guys, Sydney? Alright, cool. First time to the Rock, everyone? First time to the Rock?
Yep.
Cool. Second time, third time, anyone?
Second time.
Oh, cool. Cool, cool. So welcome to the Red Desert Reptiles Show. My name's Corey Wild, and I will be showing you some of our local reptiles that live out here. A lot of people come out here and they don't get to see anything because everything's hiding from all the tourists, or they're hiding from predators. So a lot of Aussies. Did anyone drive out here? A few drivers? Yep. Oh, yep. Cool. So you might be driving in a straight line for about 3 hours. I haven't even seen an emu or a kangaroo. Basically, there's not enough surface water out here to support large mammals. When there is water here, they are here, and when the water isn't here, they're not here. You've probably got more chance of seeing a wild feral camel than you have of seeing an emu or a kangaroo, probably. So, but the reptiles, however, we've got 73 different species of them that live out in this area, and they do quite well because they've evolved to go without water for long periods of time. They can go without water for months. And today we're going to show you 6 different species. We'll get out a venomous king brown snake later on for you guys to have a hole and get a photo with. And then no, I'm just joking. And then we will we'll get out, what have we got today? We've got the wolverine, which is the bearded dragon. And we also have Carol the carpet python. So after we've done the venomous snake and a little bit of first aid, teach you guys a little bit about first aid as well, we'll head over to this lovely backdrop over here and everyone can get a photo holding the snake or the lizard if you desire. Sound good? Sound good? Yep, okay, cool. This is our first little guy here. Now you've probably seen these before in your backyard, and they would be a little bit different colour. Does anyone know what that is? Blue tongue, well done. Why is it called a blue tongue? Because his tongue's blue. Yes, that's right. So, does anyone know why he has a blue tongue? Or what he uses it for? Close. Can you think of anything in nature that has blue colours on it that is dangerous? Yep. Scares away predators. Well done. So he has a blue tongue and that scares away predators. He's not dangerous or venomous, but what he does is he sticks that blue tongue out and he'll go and he'll hiss as well to scare away predators. So basically, he's got a fake. He's making other animals think that he's venomous, but he's not. So can we think of anything else that has blue on it that's dangerous?
Snake.
Blue belly black snake, maybe, yes. Anything else with blue on it? Blue bottle, jellyfish, yes. What about something with blue rings on it? Blue ring octopus, yes, there we go. So there's some examples. What about something with red on it? Red-bellied black snake and a red-backed spider, very good. So the nature has evolved to using some of these bright colours to scare away predators. How's that? Is that warm enough for you? This is Brucey the blue tongue. He's our Centralian blue tongue, and he's currently making his slow motion getaway. When he's full grown at about 55 centimetres, he can probably move about this fast when he wants to get away from predators or he's trying to get off the road, trying not to get run over. Also, he needs to be warm to move fast as well. So all of our reptiles are solar powered basically. They're not really cold-blooded. We're going to learn lots of things about reptiles today. They're not cold-blooded, they're not slimy, they're not dim-witted either. They're quite clever and they have some interesting things about them that we'll talk about. So 6 different species of blue tongues in Australia. They're also found in southern Victoria and Tasmania, so they can deal with the colder climates as well. In the colder climates they do hibernate. Out here he will hibernate as well. So the reason that they actually hibernate is because he doesn't get warm enough for his stomach acids to digest food. So if his stomach acids aren't working, he's not eating, he has no energy, he hibernates. So, has anyone had one of these in their backyard over on the east coast, Sydney? They're quite popular around there. Yep. Lots of Lots of blue tongues around the place, yeah. So he's making his getaway. There we go. Good thing about blue tongue lizards, when you're driving down the road and you see them about half a kilometre up the road, you know you've got him. So our centralian or central reptiles have evolved to having a bit of red or orange, and it helps with that camouflage on the background there. You'll also see this is the only species that has the GT racing stripes, but it doesn't make him go any faster. Behind those little racing stripes on his head there, he's got some holes. What are they? Ears. There is ear holes, that's right. So if you saw a snake and it had ear holes, what would it be?
Ears.
A legless lizard, yes, that's right. So snakes have internal ears, lizards have external ears. Lizards got better hearing than snakes. So legless lizards have ear holes, and they also have a fleshy tongue. Does anyone know what family of lizard he's from?
Blue tongue.
Blue tongue, yep. Blue tongue what?
Lizard family.
Lizard family, yes. So we've got 5 lizard families in Australia. This guy's from the skink family. So the skinks are one of the more successful families. There's about 320 different species of skinks in Australia. And in total we've got over 820 described species of lizards from 5 families. So we've got legless lizards, skinks, geckos, which are more nocturnal. We also have our dragon lizards and our monitor lizards, or goannas. So there's 5 major families of lizards in Australia. So these ones give birth to live young. They'll have up to 9 little live young, and they basically look like the parents. The ones over on the east coast, the common blue tongue, they basically start from Cairns. They'll go right down through Sydney, Melbourne, across into Adelaide, and also down to Tasmania. The common blue tongue will get to about 55, 60 centimetres, so a little bit bigger than our central ones, and they can give birth of over 10 live young. So he's omnivorous. He'll eat flowers, fruits and plant matter. He'll eat the bush tucker out here, a lot of what the indigenous eat. The mistletoe berries. And he'll also eat slugs and snails. So they're good to have in your garden, and they will live in your garden for decades. This guy in captivity can live up to 30 years old, sometimes even over. In the wild, 20 to 30 years old as well. So if you have a veggie garden, he will eat the slugs and snails and any insects that are in there, but he'll also eat your cherry tomatoes and your strawberries if you've got them. Got good taste. So that's Brucey, the blue tongue. Has anyone heard of the lung cutter story, the creation story from Uluru of the greedy blue tongue lizard? No? There's a big rock just over there. I'm sure you guys will see it sometime. When you go out there, keep an ear out for the lung cutter story. So that's his indigenous name, lung cutter. And one of our creation stories out there is the greedy blue. And he's from the dragon family. And you can see why he's from the dragon family. He's got spikes all over him. Unfortunately, he doesn't breathe fire and fly. That'd be kind of cool. Does anyone know what that is? A Pita dragon, well done. So you can see this is the centralian Pita dragon. He's got that yellowy orange colour, and that enables him once again to blend in with the environment. So later on we've got another Pita dragon called the Wolverine, and you guys can have a hold of that one. He was coming at you, wasn't he? This one here is a little bit more squirrely, so you're going to have a little run for us? Show the people how you run? Oh, look out, here it comes!
Hey, stop.
There we go, there's a bit of a demonstration. A bit quicker than Brucey, isn't he? You're not I told you before, don't run towards the audience. Over that way. Oh, yes. Here he comes. Wow, that's kind of cool, huh? So he's got long legs, long nails. Whoa. He's quick too.
It's all right.
Coming up your leg. What they'll do in the wild is they'll run away from predators and they'll run up trees.
What's going to kill me?
Yes. So his cousin is the frillneck, And the frill neck, the frill neck will, later. Frill neck has a frill that goes right around his head. This guy just has the beard. And you can see when he gets cranky, he'll open his mouth and he'll stick that beard up. He'll say, put your finger in there, Corey, and I'll make it bleed for you. Those little teeth. Yeah. He's kind of cute till he's hanging off the end of your finger. Believe it or not, lots of people have pet Pita Dragons, thousands of them. Even in the States, we exported them for a while. And the Pita Dragons are very popular pets. They do calm down, not so much like this one. You'll see the other one out there, Wolverine. Quite tame. So basically, they're semi-arboreal, so they like to be up off the ground. And what he'll do is he'll have a territory about the size of this amphitheatre. And in that territory, in the springtime or summer, he'll have a couple of girlfriends. And they actually know sign language, so they'll wave. Has anyone heard of the Tata lizard? They actually do waves, they speak sign language. So he'll wave, hi girls, come on over here. And if a male comes along, you'll see that male and he'll start flexing, he'll start doing head bobs and doing push-ups on top of his stump. And if the other male doesn't leave, he'll actually chase him away and they'll fight. So he has a territory. So we've done some interesting studies as well with reptiles. You'll have a pile of rocks over there and you'll have a dominant male sitting on that pile of rocks, and then you'll have a few girlfriends. Then you'll have a small pile of rocks over there and you'll have a little nerdy guy by himself who doesn't have any girlfriends. We take all the rocks from over there and put them over there. Guess who follows? All the girls. That's right, so the better assets he has, the more girlfriends he gets. His assets are rocks and high points that get the first part of the sun in the morning. That's what he would consider an asset. These ones lay eggs. They'll dig a hole and lay up to 25 eggs in that hole. They don't really look after them. They'll hide them from predators because basically dingoes, foxes, and also goannas will dig up the eggs and eat them. We've also got a couple of species of snakes that are specialised reptile egg eaters. If anyone's heard of a bandy. Also some of our blind snakes or burrowing snakes love to eat reptiles' eggs. Now he also has to keep an eye out. A lot of the times we don't see the lizards because they're hiding near a hole or near a hollow log, and they need to escape from our raptor birds of prey. So hawks and falcons and eagles will love. We'll get out later, we'll eat this guy, and a couple other species of pythons will eat them. So reptiles in general, they don't really discriminate. Some species, the aunties and uncles, will eat the nieces and nephews, particularly with crocodiles. Big lizards will eat snakes. Big snakes will eat lizards. So, there we go. That's his name's Chewy because sometimes he chews on my fingers. Alright, we'll get a snake out for you next. It's just a small one to start with, just to warm you guys up. He's in this little box here because he feels at home in this little box, got a hole in it, and it's just like a little hollow log for him. He's only a little guy, but he's still interesting. He's one of our 13 species of pythons in Australia. And he's called the Stimson's python, so we call him Bart Stimson. And he only grows to about 1 metre. His cousin is the children's python. So we've got 4 species of pythons in Australia that are some of the smallest ones in the world. And then we've also got some other pythons which get up and over 6 metres in length. So we have a bit of variety in Australia. All of our pythons have a cat's eye or elliptical pupil or a vertical pupil. So Bart Stimson here, he's found in all states around in Australia. He's not really in southern Victoria or Tasmania though. So a lot of Victoria, there we don't get a lot of pythons in Victoria, but they get copperheads and tiger snakes instead. So no one misses out. So you can see he's quite a good climber. All snakes can climb, guys. The only snakes that can't climb are sea snakes or file snakes. And the old tale that if a snake's up in a tree, it's not venomous is simply not true. That's all snakes can climb. Venomous snakes are generally more active on the ground, but if they taste the air and they work out that there's a bird up in the tree or there's a bird nest or baby birds, they'll go up there. Or if he's trying to get away from predators like foxes or dingoes, he'll go up the tree as well. I saw a clip on YouTube the other day, put in, rattlesnake versus rabbit. And the rabbit is actually attacking the rattlesnake to get it away from, obviously, his warren area. And the rattlesnake went up into a pine tree, ran away from the snake, which is quite interesting. So Bart Stimson, his other cousin is the pygmy python in WA. They only grow to about 30 centimetres, the world's smallest python species. Up in Darwin, and the top end, we've got the olive python. They can get up and over 6 metres. They can eat full-grown wallabies, small lost tourists, and occasionally feral pigs, smaller feral pigs. Tough crowd today, tough crowd. It's a bit early, isn't it? A bit early and cold for jokes. All right, now we've done the little one. Let's get a bit bigger one out, shall we? Does anyone know what that is? Anyone want to have a little touch? This is where we find out that reptiles aren't slimy. They're actually cool and smooth. So as I was saying before, they're solar powered. So if he lays in the sun and he gets to 25 degrees, he'll get to 25 degrees. So just be gentle, don't pinch him or squeeze him because he might give you a love bite. Good job, see? It's not as scary as the Pita Dragons, is it? So cold and smooth. So they're not slimy at all. They live quite long as well.
Did you feel it? It was cold, wasn't it?
And a lot of people have pythons living in their roofs of their houses, and they can live in your roof of your house for decades. So later on we'll get a python out for you guys to, ooh. Did you? Oh, all right. That must be the wool. It's the wool, yeah. So is that the first time everyone's touched a tiger snake?
Yeah.
First time? Yeah? No, he's not a tiger snake, but if you came across that guy in the bush, you could mistake him for a venomous snake. And you come along, oh! You might even say, crikey. Now, he also looks a bit like a brown snake, but he's not. Does anyone know what he is? He's non-venomous, so he's got no venom at all. Yep. A diamond python is close. Yellow-belly's close. He's got yellow on him. Yellow-bellied black snake? No. No, he's not venomous. Tiger snake's venomous. He's a python. So I'll tell you guys, it's the Woma python. So, has anyone heard the Kunya-Liru creation story of Uluru? Anyone heard that? No? There's a big rock over there. You'll probably see it sometime. So the story is that the Kunya, or the Woma python, came to Uluru to lay her eggs. She had a fight with the venomous snake man, the Liru. It's a venomous snake we'll get out a bit later. And there's some truth to the creation story as well. There's stories within stories and education. And also that part of that story tells us that Woma pythons can eat venomous snakes. So after thousands of years of evolution, these guys have evolved to have antibodies which protect them against brown snake and black snake venom. Now it makes sense for him or her to eat other snakes because they don't have any limbs, so he can just suck it down like a big piece of spaghetti. Lovely. Now what pythons do, they're non-venomous. They don't have fangs that inject venom, but they have hooked back solid teeth. And some species have got over 50 teeth. They will grab their prey, they'll wrap around it and they'll asphyxiate it or squeeze it till it stops moving. They'll then locate the head and they will walk their jaws over that prey item. There's elasticized jaws in his sides here and also in the bottom of his chin. His mouth, he can fit his head over prey items 4 to 5 times larger than his head. So it doesn't look like it, but that snake could easily swallow a duck's egg, which is bigger than a chicken's egg. When he's full grown, he gets to about 2.3 metres. And he can go down a rabbit hole, eat Bugs Bunny, and take about 8 days to digest it after that. The stroller is rolling away. The stroller has left the building. Yeah, he's only found around here. It's central, but he actually is found in Western Australia as well, and right across to the coast. So if you're heading over to WA through that through Dirt Road, you might see him out there, but it's a little bit cool at the moment. They're kind of hibernating at the moment. Ours are kept in heated enclosures, so we control their temperature so they don't need to hibernate. The stomach acids are always working, and we feed them about 1 rat a week. So we give them mice on ice we get frozen rodents sent to us, and we defrost them, and then we'll feed him once a week. So we've got to eat all the time, 3-4 meals a day to heat our blood. He doesn't, he gets his heat from the sun, his external or ectothermic. So these ones will live over 30 years as well. They can have over 30 eggs. Pythons are really good mums. They'll lay their eggs in the area that they've decided, usually down a rabbit hole or an old goanna hole. They'll go out and lay in the sun. They'll heat up to the ambient temperature, and then they'll go back down the hole. They'll wrap around the eggs. They'll wrap around the eggs, and then they will heat them with their body heat. So they'll do that every day for 2 to 3 months while they're incubating. During that time, the mother python won't eat as well, as a general rule. So maternal instinct there. Crocodiles are also really good mums as well. They build a nest and they look after the babies. They can even hear the babies squawking inside the nest, and they'll come down, take them to the water's edge in the mouth. So they're not slimy. They do have a maternal instinct. They live in family groups. Some of our lizards will live in a family group. They'll have 4 generations. Great-grandma and great-grandpa will be living with them. They can live on a rocky outcrop for 60 years or more. One of those species is the gidgee skink, or the spiny-tailed skink. They'll live together in family groups. And there's also some monogamy in their relationships as well. And also our shingleback lizards, or our stumpies or bog-eyes, they also have monogamous relationships which last more than 20 years. So they basically get married and have the same partner. So there's a couple of interesting things about reptiles that you probably never knew. Okay, you're going to let me go now? Who's got who here? Better call the snake catcher. Any questions, guys? We'll get out a venomous snake shortly. Yep.
What happens if your monogamous lizard, what happens if one of the partners dies? Do they go and take another partner? Or?
Well, they've actually found them grieving on the side of the road with their partner that's been run over, and the poor old lizard hangs around for 4 or 5 days, and then who knows? Who knows? I don't know if they go and get another partner or they get sad and die. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's quite interesting. Interesting question. Haven't had that one before, but yeah, they have actually found them grieving. Strange for what you would consider a cold-blooded, creepy animal. So we're going to get out a venomous snake now. This guy's called the king brown. He's also called the mulga snake. We call this the mulga scrub out here. This is where the trees up there with the little yellow flowers are the mulga bush or acacia. So that's where he gets his other name. And he's not in the bucket. Just quick, have a look under your seats, guys. There's no brown snakes out there. No, I'm just joking. He's in here, which is always good news for me, because if he wasn't in here, the only other place he could be is in my car. He's been reading the newspaper, the Territorian, this morning. Put a little bit of newspaper in there because it gives him something to hide under. Insulates him a little bit too, so he doesn't get too cold. So this is the king brown or mulga snake. So you can see he's got quite a wide belly scales there, flat belly scales. Most of our venomous snakes in Australia are active during the day. They're a faster moving ground dwelling snake. You can also see he's got more of a bullet shaped head, and the eye is actually closer to the front of his mouth. Out here, however, it gets really hot in the summertime, so a lot of our reptiles become nocturnal. So he might be nocturnal out here, but other places he's more active during the day. Even our brown snakes out here will become nocturnal. So on the venom toxicity, this guy's about number 20 in the world. He's not even a brown snake, believe it or not. He's actually a black snake. So he's more closely related to the red-bellied black than he is to a brown snake. So black snake's venom is down around 20 or below. There's no recorded deaths from a red-bellied black snake in Australia. His other cousin would be the blue-bellied black snake or spotted black snake, and there's another one called a collet snake, which is actually black and pink. He's one of Australia's largest venomous snakes. This guy's about half grown. He'll get quite a bit bigger than this. He gets to 2.5 metres, which is almost from pole to pole there. The only other largest species of venomous snake in Australia is the coastal taipan. He'll get from here to there, so 3 metres they'll get to. Brown snake venom, on the other hand, because he's falsely called the brown snake, the brown snake's venom is in the top 5 in the world, so it's quite a different. They have different prey items, so they have evolved different venom proteins to take out their prey. Most of our rodent-eating snakes have fast knockdown power. We have the most venomous snake in the world in Australia. He's called the inland taipan or fierce snake, and he's found right out in Western Queensland in the Black Soil Plains area, and he lives in big cracks in the ground. He'll go in there and hunt rodents, and the chances of you ever seeing one are very slim. So even though he's the most, even though the inland taipan is the most venomous snake in the world, he's not considered the most dangerous. So the difference between the most venomous and the most dangerous, obviously venom toxicity is the most venomous, and the most dangerous is the one that bites the most people. So the one that's more likely that you're going to have an encounter with. So the most dangerous snake in Australia would probably be the eastern and western brown snakes, because they live in built-up populated areas, and also this guy would be considered one of the dangerous ones as well. He doesn't have real toxic venom, but he has a lot of it. He's got one of the largest venom yields of all of our snakes, and he grows quite large. And he also has the largest distribution of any of our venomous snakes in Australia. So basically, lucky for us in Australia, most of our ground-dwelling, fast-moving snakes want to get out of our way. They don't want us to step on him. He's got 300 vertebrae, he's got tiny little ribs. If I step on him, those ribs are going to puncture his internal organs, and he's probably going to die from internal injuries about 5 or 6 days later. So generally all of our snakes want to get out of our way. There is one species called the death adder. That's about the only one that will try and rely on its camouflage. And you probably go bushwalking and walk right past them and never see them. And generally they're not trying to strike out unless you're stepping on them. If you do step on him though, however, he is defending himself and he will bite you. So Australia in general, on a bad year we might lose 2 or 3 people from snake bite. Overseas, other places, Southeast Asia, India, Pakistan, they'll lose thousands of people because they have different snakes. A lot of their snakes, like the Russell's vipers, won't move out of the way, and they come out at night time and they curl up around the villages where people are walking around barefoot, they step on them. They're generally dying from complications from the venom weeks and weeks later. They also don't have really good hospital systems like we have in Australia. Alright. One moment guys, I'm going to grab our, I forgot the bandage.
Do we still have the vet in this world?
Yeah.
Don't go near it, that's right. Tell Mum and Dad. Tell Mum and Dad there's a snake. And Dad's not going to kill it with the shovel because it could get bitten. If you Google your local area, you can have the snake catcher's number on your fridge for spring and summertime. If you have chickens or birds or budgies, maybe even guinea pigs, anything that's going to attract mice and rats, the snakes will come for those mice and rats. So contain all of your bird seed and chicken pellets and all that sort of stuff is a good rule of thumb. If you do see a snake, basically some people say, oh, just stand still, but if it's moving towards you and it's going to go through your legs, why stand still when you can just back off? So Basically, the steps we take when we see a snake are long ones in the opposite direction. Generally, what snakes will do is you'll be walking through the bush and you'll see a snake and you'll go, ah, and the snake will go, ah, at the same time. And the snake quickly determines whether it's going to escape or it's going to stand its ground because it doesn't feel safe. If you're too close, it'll stand its ground. It might even mock strike and then go away, or it'll stand its ground, or it will just leave straight away. So if you're backing off, it'll generally feel safer and it'll move out of the way. A good example is cobras. Cobras do that as well. They'll stand up, and then when they feel unthreatened, they'll sit back, they'll lower down and then make their way off, which our brown snakes will do, and our black snakes as well. Brown snakes kind of sit up a little bit like this, and the black snakes kind of flatten their necks out. So a lot of people bushwalking, they're not watching where they're going, walk around, oh, it's uluru up there, yeah, the man help. Stepped on Joe Bloke crossing the path. So watch where you're putting your feet. A lot of people also walking through the bush and they'll step over a log or step over a rock. Bang, he's on the other side, sleeping in the sun. And you've stepped on him, so he's going to give you a wet bite. They can also give a dry bite, where they don't inject any venom at all. They like to keep their venom. It's precious to them. It digests their food for them. So all of our venomous snakes, spiders, centipedes and scorpions are venomous. They use their venom to digest their food once they've swallowed it or during the process. So we don't say poisonous snake. We don't say poisonous spider, we say venomous. So venom is injected, poison is ingested or absorbed, basically. So we don't say poisonous snake, we would say venomous snake, venomous spider. You would say poisonous mushroom, or you would say poisonous cane toad, or you would say poisonous pufferfish, because it's a poison that's ingested. So this is a pressure immobilisation technique. It's just a fancy way to say elastic bandage. And what we do, our newer ones here have a green and brown rectangle on them. This gives us an idea of what sort of tension that we strap it over the bite site. It turns into a square when it's at the right tension. It's about the same tension you'd use for a sprained ankle or a sprained wrist. You can use any elastic bandage. One of these in the kitchen drawers, mums. One in the camper van, one in the backpack. And it's very good to save your life. This is all we need to do. Basically, I've walked through the bush, I haven't watched where I'm going, I've stepped on a snake, and he's bit me on the leg. So I'm not going to panic, because 9 out of 10 snake bites are non-fatal, and they can also give you a dry bite as well. So keep the person calm and relaxed if you can. We're basically bandaging straight over the bite site. I would take my boot off as well. You could leave your sock on. Take any jewellery off, rings on fingers and things in case you get any inflammation or swelling. And we'll bandage straight over that. We'll bandage right down the end and right up the top. And then we will basically bring the vehicle to the person if possible. Call 000. Send someone for help. That's why they always say go bushwalking with a mate. Just in case you get into trouble, you can send somebody for help. And it's important. What it's basically doing is pressurising that venom and stopping it from moving around in your system. So we don't tourniquet. If you tourniquet, you're cutting off all the blood supply, and that's not going to be good if it's a black snake. It has a different necrotic venom. We don't want it to be too loose either, otherwise it's moving through our system. We don't want to elevate the leg or elevate the arm, we just want to immobilise it, take the person. So when we get to the hospital, we put a little mark on there as well where the snake's bitten us. The doctor will get his scissors, he'll leave the bandage on, he'll cut out a hole, he'll take a swab. We haven't washed the venom off. Don't cut and suck the venom out, none of that's true. If you cut and suck the venom out and you've got a cut on your tongue or in your gum, you're going to envenomate yourself as well. Then it'll be in your torso, and you'll be in big trouble. He'll take a swab from where he's cut that out, he'll put it in his venom detection kit and give you anti-venom for the correct snake if you need it. They just monitor you. They only give it to you if you really have to have it. Has anyone here been bitten by a venomous snake? Anybody? No? I had someone yesterday that got bitten by a snake. They were quite lucky, and a few days before as well, there was another guy that got bit by tiger snakes. So you've got to watch out for those ones. So this also works for blue ring octopus. Same technique, blue ring octopus. Same technique for a cone shell. Tropical waters, there's a little cone shell, and they shoot fish with poison dart or venomous dart, and the venom is more toxic than that snake over there. So don't go picking up shells in the tropical waters. Also, the blue ring octopus, they'll hide in razorfish, they'll hide in sponges and things like that when you're down the beach and you're playing with that sort of stuff. You can get bitten by those. And it also works for Sydney funnel webs. Everything else will be a different first aid technique. You can actually get first aid techniques, apps on your phone now as well, which is kind of handy. Any questions? Clear as mud? Yep. All right, who wants to hold a snake or a lizard? You guys do. All right. What we're going to do